said, wow, this is the spot, and we looked at it. I think that was the biggest eureka moment for all three of us, don't you think?
Yeah, it was really interesting because we did a lot of videotape, a lot of video editing, a lot of video stuff. And one of Ian's last visits was frustrating for Ian, more so than us, is we want Ian to look at this area, but he says, no, that's not right, the trees aren't right. But Steven is standing here going, what about this tree? And it's the same freaking tree.
Yeah,
and Ian goes, oh no, it's, I can't remember, it's too big or too small or whatever. And now, reviewing the video, it's like, that's the tree. So we looked at it. Steven goes, what about this tree? Look, it's a big tree. It's in the right place. And later on, it was funny to review that in the video, that Ian couldn't see it, but Steven goes, well, what about this one? This is good. But Ian had a preset idea that it had to be down here. He was more comfortable with this because the angle of sunlight and the backlighting, because of the gorge, is the backlight in the shots. And the space.
He wanted a very long distance for the retreat segment of the film.
Right.
And can we stand here and look back and see the stumps from without having to do much work here?
Knowing where they are, I can generally point to the general direction.
So they're there.
There's a big stump right there.
That's one.
You go back to the big stump. You have the there's a stump right behind that tree that's got a leaning aspect to it. Out this way is where the one with the smiley face is right over there. And that cluster of logs that are down.
Okay.
This might be the leaning stump that we talked about. And there's a cluster of other stumps that are just ahead there that have this pattern of tree. But whipping out the map and then comparing it would be more helpful.
Well, this is really, really amazing. This is 2012, my first time looking at the big tree positively.
You haven't kissed it and rubbed yourself against it yet.
That's incredible.
A little privacy for Danny, please.
Checking out those holes, Dan.
Wow. That is really...
I thought that everyone always thought this was the big tree.
No. Everybody had a different tree, a different location.
Well, no one had a tree.
It didn't make sense. The search was, let's find, it's kind of funny going, let's go find the tree. Let's just take that whole movie, take it to one frame of a shot. And let's look for that one tree that's behind in the shot. I was with Steven lots of time, and Steven's going, well, this one looks good. Well, this one looks good. Every tree along this whole front here for the half a mile or so. So finally I go, well, I can't see the forest for the trees. So I go, well, Renee's got the 71 shot. I go, well, let's look for artifacts, things that don't move like stumps. Once you locate those stumps, and there's a pattern there, then the big trees should be where they're supposed to be. So my approach was, let's look at the whole picture. Let's find artifacts that don't change. Steven was, let's find the freaking tree. It's got to be here somewhere. And then it all came together. For me, it was that leaning tree really tickled me because in the 71.
So the methodology to begin with on the search
we were
was
different.
a little bit rocky road until you figured out the best way to do it.
Well, a lot of it was just bumbling around looking.
Known artifacts to say like, okay, this all makes sense now.